All right, Riley and Van Gogh here. We are still in the shelter. We made it to Logan Brook Lean-To last night. Today is Saturday, October the 12th, day 163 of our through hike, and we're getting off to another late start because it's really cold, but we're gonna be getting off soon. It rained really hard this morning, really hard. Just as it was getting light out, it was like pouring out, and I was like, I'm so glad we're in the shelter, so glad. The guy named Critter, who passed by the Carl Newhall shelter that we stayed at the previous night, he was here last night. We got in probably close to 8 p.m. It was definitely dark by the time we got here. And then after we had settled down and gone to sleep, it took us a while, another guy rolled in named Rocket. It seemed like it was probably close to midnight by the time he got here. I was like already asleep by the time he got here. So we had two guys keeping us company last night. They both headed out before us. Critter headed out early this morning, and then Rocket headed out a short while ago. And we're going to be heading out soon. I just ate a bunch of food. I am just famished. I'm getting close to running out of food, actually. Like, we really need to get Golden Road. So this is the comment that I left. 10:12, Riley plus Van Gogh stayed here last night with Critter and Rocket. We're getting off to another late start on the day because it is so friggin' cold. Anyway, so we're about halfway down the mountain of Whitecap Mountain, and then we have some relatively easy trail to look forward to, but it's still really cold. It's not going to be easy. Anyway, so we got to get started. We got to get going. That's the intro for today. Hopefully we survive. Hold up, Riley. There we go. Nice. Riley, hold up. There you go. Hold up, Riley. Stay there. Ugh. Way to go, Riley. Hold up. Hold up, buddy. All right. Success. So this was... I believe this is the east branch of the Pleasant River, which was, as far as I know, the last possible stream water crossing that we possibly had to ford, but we were able to just rock hop it without getting wet at all, so that was great. All right, so we have descended fully Whitecap Mountain. We got to the next lean-to, which I believe was 3.6 miles from where we stayed at last night, Logan Brook Lean-To. The next lean-to is called East Branch Lean-To, I believe. And then just shortly after that, we got to the water crossing, East Branch of the Pleasant River. And we crossed it successfully. It's been really windy today and cold, so I haven't really been... I'm finally starting to feel better, so that's why I got my camera out. I have all 4 hiking shirts on. I have my Columbia fleece that I acquired a couple days ago at the West Branch of the Pleasant River from a day hiker. and I have my black rain jacket on. So that makes 6 layers. Riley still has his blue jacket on. Haven't taken it off yet. I could probably take it off soon. And I was just super hungry this morning. I feel like I'm hungrier in the mornings than I am at night. After my metabolism has a chance to process all night long, and I just feel really hungry in the mornings. I ate a bunch of dry mashed potatoes. I just ate a bunch of dry stuff this morning. Ate some oatmeal. I ate a whole packet of peanut butter cookie mix between last night and this morning, which was delicious. I think I still have enough food, but definitely getting close. And I'm feeling like I just want to hike big miles to get to Golden Road and see my dad as soon as possible. Hold up, buddy. What's wrong, Riley? Hold up, buddy. Hold up. Stay behind me. I heard from a... Goodness gracious, come on, dude. Heard from a day hiker this morning that got to Logan Brook Lean-To right as Riley and I were leaving. Goodness gracious. That it's supposed to rain all day on Monday. Today's Saturday. Oh, buddy. So... And then he said, like, there's a 50% chance of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's like, what in the world? Come on. People, I don't want to have to deal with rain at all. I'm a big baby. We only have a few more days left of this hike. If we can just get some nice weather to finish it off. But at least we're in the relatively nice section. We still have rocks and roots to deal with. But at least we don't have like any super high climbs to do or super steep descents. Just gotta keep pushing forward and try to finish this thing off before we get eaten alive by the cold weather and the rain or whatever else Mother Nature has in store for us. The trail is still wet and muddy in sections, but so far we've been able to go around those sections. My left leg is definitely on the mend. It's not bothering me nearly as much as it was a few days ago. It's really been bothering me ever since before crossing the Kennebec, which is like mile 20 around 2040, and we're about 2130 right now, so almost the last 100 miles it's been bothering me. But I can definitely feel that it's on the up and up. I feel like I have better range of motion with it. I'm able to do stuff that I wasn't able to do so easily before, and I'm just not having as much tightness with it. And I'm still trying to take it easy on it, but it's just not bothering me as much. So I feel like it's definitely begun the healing process, and the healing process is starting to work. So that's wonderful. One step at a time here, one step at a time. It's nice that there's some sunlight and that it's not raining for now. Mr. Riley, you're doing awesome, big guy. You're doing awesome. Good boy. Mr. Riley, good boy. You beautiful boy. All right, hello, hello. I figured I should do a little check-in, a little teeny tiny micro quantum infinitesimal check-in. Since we're losing the light here, I checked far out just a couple minutes ago. It was 5:55 p.m. It's gonna get dark very, very, very soon. The wind has died down. It was super windy this morning. It did warm up a little bit today. And when I say it warmed up to the point where like I wasn't freezing. But I never felt like warm at all. I kept all my hiking shirts on and my fleece and my rain jacket on the entire day. Still have my gloves on, black gloves. These are lightweight, light warmth, but definitely better than nothing gloves. I ended up taking Riley's blue jacket off in the middle of the day. And when I checked far out a little while ago, we had hiked 10.6 miles on the day. So today is our first day in the 100-mile wilderness where we have hiked double digits. Our last biggest day, we did hike 9.9 miles one day. Almost double digits. But today's the first one where we've actually exceeded 10 miles. A lot of the day we've had, like, this is very pleasant trail here. We have had it hasn't been all pleasant trail. We have had some minor, we had the descent in the morning, and we had a climb up this mountain called Little Boardman Mountain. So we've had a couple ascents. There's been a couple wet stretches, but we've had plenty of pleasant trail as well. So that's allowed us to definitely hike with a little bit faster pace compared to yesterday and the previous days. And we are, when I checked far out just a few minutes ago, the next lean-to is called Cooper Falls Brook Lean-to, I think, or maybe Cooper Falls Lean-to, or Cooper Brook Lean-to. I think it's Cooper Brook Lean-to. Cooper something Lean-to. And that was 1.1 miles ahead of us. So by the time we get there, it's probably going to be dark. But we're in the... So I definitely got off to another late start today. I'm really shooting ourselves in the foot by getting off to such late starts. What, Riley? Come on, man. But at the same time, it's really cold in the morning. And it was raining this morning. I feel like I'm on, well, I'm just providing context here. I'm not, but I'm also, I guess, like, sort of defending myself. And if Big Blue is listening to me talk, he'd be like, dude, it's your hike. You get up when you want to. It's your hike. You do what you want. And that's absolutely true. But just to explain, I mean, it's really cold, and it was raining hard this morning, and I wanted to, the last thing I would want to do would be to hike, you know, start hiking and then have it start pouring again. So I wanted to give myself some time to, you know, after the rain stopped, to kind of just make sure that it seemed like it was over, rather than getting ready to leave, you know, immediately after it ended. And I was really hungry too, really hungry, and it's not fun, not super fun hiking with what feels like a hole in your stomach. So I was able to eat, you know, fill my belly this morning with some good food, and that's allowed me to hike the full day so far without feeling like I needed to stop to eat anything. I did give Riley a few treats that I have in my pocket, but you know, haven't given him much food other than that. So I'll certainly give him a good dinner whenever we stop tonight. Okay, buddy, hold up, buddy. Pee, time to pee, Riley. So I've been occupying my thoughts, you know, with all the pleasant trail that we've been having. I've been just thinking about, Riley, hold up. You know, I'm kind of, I don't want to take anything for granted, but whenever I eventually summit Katahdin, assuming I do, and I'm sort of taking that for granted, my dad is gonna meet us. Well, he's gonna meet us when we finish the 100-mile wilderness, and then whenever I finish summiting Katahdin, we're gonna meet up again, and he's gonna drive Riley and I back down south towards Maryland, where we live. And I've been thinking about some cool stops to make along the way. Yeah, so I've just been occupying, kind of thinking about like where would be cool to stop. And I've been thinking like Gorham, New Hampshire would be a nice place to stop, because I didn't stop in there when I was hiking through, because I already had plenty of food. And I'm thinking it would be nice to eat at one of the Chinese buffets in Gorham. Well, the first stop would be going to Millinocket, and there's this cafe called the Appalachian Trail Cafe. And I'm not sure if they still do it, but they had like an ice cream challenge back in 2018. It was called the Summit Sundae Challenge, and it's like an ice cream sundae with 14 scoops of ice cream, one for each state. And they put like a Snickers bar in there, and an apple cider donut, and lots of whipped cream, of course, bananas, hot fudge sauce, the works. So it's a really big ice cream sundae. If they still do that, I think it'd be cool to try that again. Anyway, so then Gorham, New Hampshire would be cool, because there's 2 Chinese buffets there, and somehow I managed to not eat at a single Chinese buffet the entire hike. So several of the ones that I would have liked to have gone to, I got that. There was one in Parisburg, there was one in Daleville, and there was one in Waynesboro. And the ones in Parisburg and Daleville, they were both closed on Mondays, and I somehow managed to get there on Mondays when they were closed. And then in Waynesboro, I was looking forward to going to the Chinese place there, I'm forgetting the name, but I ended up not going there because I didn't have a good place to secure Riley. Anyway, so it'd be cool to go to one of the Chinese buffets in Gorham. That's on my list. Taking a long time to state that. And another place I thought of, and this is like not too far, but at Pinkham Notch, which is very close to Gorham. It's just like 20 miles south by trail, I think. Something like that. There's the Joe Dodge Lodge at Pinkham Notch, which is in the White Mountains. And there's a restaurant there that does a buffet breakfast and dinner. And I think their meals are very high quality. And anyway, that's another option for having dinner, even though it's so close to Gorham. And there's also another option is going back to the Yellow Deli and seeing if I can maybe like work a day on the farm and maybe stay there another night. And they might let my dad stay there. And if we can somehow get there on a Friday night, we could possibly participate in their weekly Friday dinner. I feel like I was looking forward to trying to do that on my hike, and I got there on a Friday, but I wasn't able to get there early enough to participate in their weekly dinner. And I think that would be fun to do. And I would be happy to, if I'm able to work it out, to do a day or even two working on their farm as a way to pay them back and show my appreciation. But that's just an option. Another place I've thought of is stopping in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. There was when I stopped in town there with Big Blue, the guy that dropped me off, or that gave me a ride into town, told me about this brew pub that's near the Travel Lodge Hotel, I think. And he was planning to eat there himself, but unfortunately it wasn't close to where Big Blue and I were staying. It wasn't within walking distance. But the guy that dropped me off had good things to say about this brew pub. Obviously you can get beer there, but the main thing, he just said they have really good food there. And he also in particular said that they have this nice chocolate stout cake, which is a really big portion, and I'm sure that would be really good. So that's another option for Massachusetts. I was trying to come up with an option for each state. So far I've got Maine in Millinocket, I've got New Hampshire in Gorham, and also in Pinkham Notch. I've got Vermont at the Yellow Deli. I've got Massachusetts at the brew pub there. I'm not sure about Connecticut. Maybe Connecticut, there's the town of Kent. And even though Kent's kind of expensive, but there's there's lots of good eating places in Kent. There's a pizza place called Kent Pizza Garden, and there's also a Chinese place there. And then New York, there's that ice cream place called Bellevale Creamery, and there's also so that's an option for New York. There's also a pizza place in Unionville that I didn't stop in at. And then New Jersey, there's a hold up, big guy. In the town of Branchville, I think, there's a place called Jumbo Land Diner, which I think has a buffet dinner. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it closer, but I remember seeing that in my guidebook and being intrigued by it. Also in Pennsylvania, there's a few places in Pennsylvania. There's Delaware Water Gap, which is right at the northern end of Pennsylvania on the AT. They have a nice pie place there. There's also Port Clinton, which has a really good breakfast spot called 3 C's that I didn't stop at because it would have been a kind of a far walk. It's like a mile off trail, but supposedly they have a really nice breakfast. And there's also the Port Clinton Hotel, which I've heard has really good food also. And then in Palmerton, there's a place called Bert's, which supposedly has a really good, it's a diner, so they have, I think they're known for their breakfast, but I think they just have really good food also. Anyway, so Riley, hold up, man. So that's kind of been occupying my mind. I've just been enjoying thinking about all this stuff during the day, but now we're really losing the light. So one option is to stay at this lean-to. Another option is to just try to hike a little bit further with my headlamp and see where we get. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like night hiking, but I don't know. I'll see. To be determined. So you guys, whoever's watching this, will find out shortly, because it'll just be in the next clip, whatever, or the next clip or two, whatever we've decided. But for Riley and I, we will find out. Yeah, we still gotta get through the night, and it is, fortunately it's not raining right now. It's definitely, I'm starting to feel the chill in the air as it's getting, you know, as the sun's going down. So I'm definitely strongly considering going further than the lean-to, and the next lean-to after this one is like 11 miles or over 11 miles. So basically, if we go beyond this next lean-to, then we'll just be seeing wherever we get and finding a campsite somewhere. All right. Good evening. Riley and I have concluded our hiking day. So today is, again, Saturday, October the 12th, and it's day 163 of our AT hike. And we ended up getting to, we got to the trail to that shelter, Cooper Brook Falls lean-to, I believe. And I stood at the trail for a few minutes deciding what I wanted to do. It wasn't a long trail into the lean-to, and I decided to push on. Decided to not stay at the lean-to, and we ended up hiking another 3.6 miles, and we are currently just south. We're 0.1 miles south of this road called Joe Mary Road. And we're next to, we just found a tent site, like, not a designated tent site, but there's lots of flat ground interspersed in between the trees. And I saw some comments on Far Out alluding to that prior to deciding to push on from the lean-to. So we're actually next to Cooper Brook, and so I was able to fill up on water there. And we could have pushed on beyond this, but I was ready to stop. It is like 9 o'clock right now. It's actually 9:32 right now. But we're actually in our tent right now. So when we actually got here, it was probably like maybe a little bit before 9 p.m. And it's a pleasant night. It's not raining. It was a nice day today. I mean, it started off really cold, and it started off raining, and it was really cold and really windy. But we were still at 2,400 feet elevation at the shelter that we were at last night, which was Logan Brook Lean-To. And currently we're at much lower elevation. I think we're below 1,000. Let me just double check this. We're at 622 feet elevation. So it's much lower. It's still chilly, but I'm sure it's a lot colder up on Whitecap Mountain right now. So yeah, it's nice to be at lower elevation. Hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow morning. If it does, then I will be regretting my decision to push on from the shelter and tent here. But yeah, I just felt like I should be a little more aggressive with hiking tonight, given that it is already October 12th, and we're really close to October 15th, and October 22nd is only a week away, and we're also, not just thinking about when Katahdin's going to close, we also just have a limited amount of food, and we need to get to Golden Road and meet my dad, who's going to meet us there, and he's going to take Riley, of course, but he's also going to give me some food. He's going to have food with him, so we just need to not run out of food before we get to Golden Road. We're currently 40.7 miles from Golden Road. So I feel like we have enough food, but at the same time, I heard this morning that it sounds like Monday there's a very high chance of rain, so that's not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. And I don't want to hike in the rain. Definitely don't want to hike in the rain if it's cold out, and I feel like pretty much every day is going to be cold out. So hopefully it doesn't rain, but if it does, and it's raining the whole day, we might have to take another zero. So we'll deal with that when it comes. But for tonight, we are at so Joe Mary Road, it's like a popular road for, none of these roads are super well trafficked, but there are several roads that go through the 100-mile wilderness, and Joe Mary Road is, it's actually, so for a lot of AT hikers, when they get to Shaw's, rather than carrying all the food with them that they need to get through the 100-mile wilderness, they will set up a food drop. So they'll carry enough food to get to Joe Mary Road, and then someone from Shaw's will come out and give them whatever food that the hiker left with them, and they'll drop it off to them at Joe Mary Road for a fee. It's pretty expensive. It's like, I heard, I didn't ask specifically at Shaw's, but I heard it was like $90 or so to schedule a food drop. So it's definitely convenient in that you can lighten your load a lot, but it's also expensive. So I did not opt to do that. I opted to try to carry all the food with me, But that's one of the notable things about Joe Mary Road. Also, I think it's a popular road for people to give trail magic at. I remember getting some trail magic at this road when I hiked in 2018. But I feel like it's a little late in the season for trail magic. And plus Riley and I, hopefully, we'll get off to an early enough start tomorrow that it would be too early for trail magic anyway. Anyway, that's a little backstory on Joe Mary Road. So we are at mile 2141.3 now, and we started the day at 2126 exactly. So we hiked a total of 15.3 miles today. We'd hiked 11.7 by the time we got to the shelter, the Cooper Brook Falls lean-to, but hiking another 3.6, that bumped it up to 15.3. So yeah, so that's the biggest day so far in the 100-mile wilderness. But also, this is our first full day of mostly pleasant hiking. Like, the trail it just eased up quite a bit, so it allowed us to hike a little bit faster during the daylight, and then also feel comfortable to hike into the dark without worrying about having to go over any high peaks or any of that bad stuff. So I will say goodnight and wish everyone well, and Riley and I are gonna continue on tomorrow hopefully and pray for good weather. So, all right, that's all for now.